my name is Emma, and today I am going to be doing the reader book tag. This tag was actually created not by a booktuber, but by Penguin Random House, obviously one of our favorite publishing houses, in honor of the release of The Reader by Traci Chee. This book is set to hit shelves on September 13th, and it is all about this girl named Sophia who lives in a world where reading is basically extinct. Nobody knows how to read, nobody knows what reading is, nobody even knows what a book is, and bless those poor, tortured souls. So when Sophia's father is brutally murdered, she's on the run in the forest with her aunt. Sophia's aunt gets kidnapped, and the only thing that she is left with happens to be what she comes to find as a book. So as Sophia starts exploring the book more and learning about its secrets, she feels that it may have some connection to her aunt's disappearance as well as her father's death, and she basically goes on a journey to uncover all of those secrets using this book as her guide. Well, not this specific book, because this is the book about her story, but like the book in the stories, which she uses as her guide. This is book 1 in the Sea of Ink and Gold series, and I am so excited to start it. It definitely sounds like a very important book that highlights how crucial reading really is to the world, and I'm very excited for all that's going to happen in this book. So in honor of the release, Penguin decided to create a tag that I'm going to be doing for you guys today, and you guys feel free to do it. I would love to see all of your answers, but let's get into the questions. Question number 1, choose one word to describe being a reader. I feel like this is a super difficult question to answer. I feel like being a reader is composed of so many different things, but when I originally read this question, the first thing I thought of was enlightened. I feel that readers have this inherent different perspective on the world, and you know, we see stories and everything that other people might not see. We are exposed to so many different stories and so many different types of people and culture and locations, and I just feel like there is so much that we learn from reading things like fiction or nonfiction that other people who don't read don't actually get to experience. I feel it's impossible for reading not to have an effect on your life, and it really shapes the way you view the world, and so I just feel like there is a certain sense of enlightenment that readers have that non-readers don't have. Question number 2 is, what is the very first book you fell in love with? Now, I had been a reader since I was a kid. I was reading books for as long as I can remember, and there were tons of books that I really enjoyed, but the only book I can say that I think I truly loved first is Harry Potter. You know, I had so much fun reading A Series of Unfortunate Events, and The Tales of Emily Winsnap were great, and Chasing Redbirds was a favorite, but the only book that I can think that I really truly loved from the first start was Harry Potter. I feel like Harry Potter just transformed my reading. Like, I was never used to reading that long of chapter books, and the story was so complex to everything I was reading before. There was a point in my life, starting in elementary school all the way through high school, where I didn't really read a lot of different books. I had read so many different ones when I was a kid, but as I was getting older, nothing had really stuck with me. There was nothing new I wanted to pick up. I just constantly reread Harry Potter, and that period of my life was so significant where I just read Harry Potter almost 10 times over the course of a couple of years in summers, and it still stuck with me to this day. And so I feel like Harry Potter is always kind of a cop-out answer in tags, because everyone, their number one is always Harry Potter. I can't say that I loved a book first before Harry Potter. Question number 3 is hardcover or paperback? I am totally a hardcover lover. I really don't like paperbacks. The only reason I buy them is because sometimes I'm gifted a paperback and I have to continue a series in paperback because they gotta match. Sometimes I can only find books in a paperback format, or they're only published in paperback, but normally I love hardcovers. I love how they feel, I love how they look, I like the way they look on my shelf better, and I just generally like holding hardcovers to read better. Paperbacks are so flimsy. I'm also the type of reader where I will read while doing a lot of different things in a lot of different locations. So I'll read before school, I'll read while I'm eating, I'll read while I'm doing my nails. I read everywhere, and so my book normally cannot be in my hands for the most part, or I just don't even like holding a book. I like having a book down or like propped up on my lap, and hardcovers always are more firm and they stay better, so that's why I personally like hardcovers. Paperbacks, I'm trying to read a paperback right now and it's just so difficult, so I will always prefer hardcovers. Question number 4 is, how has reading shaped your identity? This is like the most difficult question in the entire world. How would you put this in a tag? You gotta have a whole video dedicated to how reading has shaped your identity. There is not a doubt in my mind that I would not be the person I am today had I not started reading when I did. Like I said, there's just a whole nother perspective you have on life when you are a reader and you're experiencing all of these different stories, and I truly value that I have this perspective now compared to who I was when I wasn't reading. I've learned so much about myself through these books, and I've learned the person I want to be and the type of people I don't want to be. I've come to have a better understanding of my interests and what I value in life through reading that I didn't have before. I know what's important to me and I know what's not important to me anymore, and a big part of that was the fact that I took time for myself to read and to grow instead of constantly trying to please other people. And so reading was always kind of like a crutch to me. I've said this in a couple of videos, but it really helped me through a very dark time of depression and anxiety when I needed something like like books, and so they have just offered this overwhelming support to me that I'm now able to build on and to become the better person I never thought I could be. And I'm just kind of rambling and saying things in a lot of different ways because I just don't have the time in this one video to explain how reading has shaped me as a person. It's become a part of my identity. It hasn't just shaped it, it's who I am. I am a reader. Question number 5 is, what book do you go to when you need to be comforted? Now, while I am a big supporter of rereads, I love rereading books, and there's just nothing better than getting back into one of my all-time favorite worlds. I just don't have the time to reread all of it. I'm also a series reader. I like to marathon a series starting from book 1 all the way to the last book. I don't like to pick up a book in the middle and just reread that, so it's very difficult for me to go to one specific book when I want to feel comforted. My answer to this is not necessarily a single book, but I really feel at home in the urban fantasy genre. That is what I've always loved even as a kid. It's what I love now. It's what got me back into reading. There's just something so, I don't even know the word. There's just something so comforting about an urban fantasy novel to me, and no matter what season it is, what day, urban fantasy is home to me, and I know if I'm ever feeling upset, that's the type of book I am always drawn to. Question number 6 is, who taught you to be a reader? This is honestly something I feel that is entirely on my own. There have been people all throughout my life that read. My mom and dad have read occasionally. My sister reads a little less occasionally. I've had friends and teachers that have inspired me to pick up books, but honestly, the reason I read avidly is only for myself. I've never had anyone that really pushed me to read. It was just something I always took pleasure in, and that's what I've indulged in over the years. Nobody suggested, hey Emma, you're feeling really lonely, why don't you pick up this book? It might help with some of your issues. I did that all on my own, and I just kind of figured out that reading is where I'm happiest and it's what I'm happiest doing. So that's something that I definitely give credit to myself. There have been people that have inspired certain books and have made me pick up certain things, and God knows my boyfriend is the reason I picked up The Mortal Instruments despite him not reading it, which is a story that I know most of you know. But definitely being a reader is all on me. Question number 7 is, describe your dream reading lounge. All I want is a wall full of books and library ladders. All I want. Library ladders like Beauty and the Beast, like you see on really cool Tumblr pictures. Just give me a wall of books and a library ladder that I can swing up and down when I want to pick up books, and that's all I need in life. And question number 8 is, what book changed the way you see the world? I don't want to go with The Mortal Instruments for this because I picked The Mortal Instruments for everything. If this is not your first time watching my channel, you know how much The Mortal Instruments means to me. I mean, I have Cassandra Clare's handwriting tattooed on my back. I love these books. They have changed my life for the better. I owe who I am today to those books and Cassandra Clare, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. But on my channel, I have talked so many times about how I read them and why I read them and what they've done for me and how much they've changed my life that I want to give a different answer. The book that I'm going to choose is This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales. As I had mentioned before, I started reading at a very, very dark time in my life. I've been through a lot of rough times, but my senior year of high school was probably one of the most traumatic years of my life, and so that's when I started reading and I started picking up new books for the first time. And This Song Will Save Your Life is one that I was so drawn to from the start. It's all about this girl who is not fitting in school. She hasn't been able to make any real connecting friends. Her family life is a mess, and she just feels so disconnected with the world and her life at the moment. And so she starts to take a walk and she discovers this underground nightclub, and through there she makes friends, she starts DJing, she finds a passion for something that she never really knew. And I can't tell you how wonderful it was to read this book. It was honestly like reading my own thoughts on paper, and it totally transformed my life. In high school, I was ridiculed for everything. No matter what I did, no matter what I was interested in, somebody had something to say about it, and music was one of those things. And so reading a book about a girl who found comfort in music just like I did and went to concerts with people that she didn't meet from school, that she met from somewhere else, this book taught me that it was okay, that I liked different music and I liked to read and nobody else did, and that there were people in my town that didn't understand me, and that was totally okay because I still had these things like music and books that could be there for me, whereas other people couldn't. It was the same kind of depression and anxiety that I was feeling while reading this book, and I feel like it just alleviated so much stress on me of trying to please everyone and trying to be what everyone else wanted me to be and trying not to seem like the weird girl who would rather read books than go to a party. This book it taught me to be myself and to embrace the parts of me that other people won't like, because why does it matter? This book was honestly just so life-changing to me, and although I have not been able to reread this book in a couple of years, it honestly transformed me, and I am the person I am today because of this book. It's one of those books that have just totally changed me as a person and have made me become the person I wanted to be, and I cannot thank the world enough for creating a book just like this. So that is really it for the reader tag. I'm going to tag Michael Book Lion, Pullin' Bananas Books, Katie Tastic, A Book Utopia, Jessie the Reader, all the Buy New Bibliothon girls, Sarah Without an H, Woody Novels, and let's just do 2 more to make it even, Jenna Claire K, and Little Book Owl. So there you all are tagged. That was more than 10 people because there's like 7 Buy New Bibliothon girls, but I had a great time doing this tag. I got a little emotional, but you know, we're talking about books, so what do you expect? Don't forget to pick up your copy of The Reader on September 13th, published by the amazing Penguin Random House. And of course, thank you so much, Penguin, for sending me this book as well as creating this tag. I'll tell you right now, this book is going to be an important one, and I think it's really going to shape a lot of us, as most of these questions had us talking about. But be sure, pick this one up. It's gonna be great. I had so much fun doing this tag, and obviously if you've enjoyed the questions in this tag, please do it and send me the link and we can all discuss our love for reading. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!